Welcome to Local Edition. I'm Brad Pomerantz. Thanks for joining us. Our guest is Samantha Wilson. She just graduated from the University of California at Riverside, and to say she made the most of her college years would be the understatement of the century. I am so glad you're here.
Thank
you
you.
are an amazing young woman. Talk to me about the Child Leader Project.
The Child Leader Project started off as a project. I was a study abroad student in India for about 5.5 months before I contracted malaria and was sent home.
Oh my.
Yeah, so I came home, but I knew I really wanted to go back. And so using my experience as a tutor and my family's experience as educators and mentorship and conflict resolution, I thought, what kind of skills do I have that can actually be used back in India? And so I applied for grant funding and I created a leadership program in India, and that's what the Child Leader Project really is.
And you went back.
I went back, yeah.
Tell me about the program, because that's what I want to talk about today.
Yeah, absolutely. The program is actually started off with 20 students from a microfinance school. It's called Activists for Social Alternatives, Riverside, and they're in South India. And they started their own school for a group of youth that didn't have a school before. And so technically it's a private school, but it's open to anyone who wants to learn. And so what we realized, though, is that these students don't have much more resources to go beyond that school. And so what we do is we actually provide values-based leadership programming, conflict resolution training, and then higher education mentorship and scholarships so that those youth, once they graduate, can go and go to college.
What is a nice girl from Moreno Valley doing, trekking off to India when you could be, listening to your iPod and surfing the internet?
Well, I don't own an iPod.
There you have it. That says it all. Neither do I.
So if you don't have one, then what do you do? Right?
But honestly, though, how did you get so interested in South Asia, I should say, or just the world generally?
Well, I was actually raised Unitarian Universalist, and
Right.
I feel like that's a very social justice, service-oriented faith tradition. And so I think being raised in that tradition, and then just always having a global interest. And so I'm a global studies major and religious studies major at UCR. And I just started off being interested. I'm incredibly interested in Islam and Hinduism. I'm interested in grassroots activism. And so you kind of put all these components together, and
Done.
India.
Okay, so in July, you're going back.
Yes.
Most of your colleagues are taking trips around Europe. You're taking a trip back to South India.
Yeah.
What are you going to do for the next few months in India?
I'm thrilled, actually. We have a larger program now. We are going to take on 60 more youth from 3 different non-governmental organizations, NGOs, street and slum children, former child laborers, and so we will be doing their youth leadership program with them. But more importantly, I have 8 UCR students coming with me this summer to participate in that programming, and we have 3 high school students from the Riverside area coming with us as well to do leadership development programming with these youth. And so something we try to be very truly collaborative. Trying to deconstruct the other, so to speak, by really creating transformative exchange.
I'm blown away. And I guess what I want to ask is, because I'm still in recovery from what you're saying, is what happens from here? So you're back to India. Are you going to get your PhD? Are you going to move to India for the rest of your life? Where do we see Samantha Wilson in the next 5-10 years?
Well, Samantha Wilson for the next few years will probably stay in Riverside. I've been given a job at the University of California, Riverside.
Doing what?
Doing civic engagement and research for undergraduate youth. So how do we make programs like I've done more accessible so that other university students feel they can do this as well?
Peace Corps, State Department,
No.
What are you thinking?
Well, quite honestly, I'm interested in a religion still. My foundation is religious, and so and liberal faith traditions, and so I'm interested actually in doing my Master's of Divinity possibly, and grounding whatever I do within Unitarian Universalism, but then moving beyond that and possibly doing like a PhD in international law or international relations. So doubling those 2 pieces.
Who says that this generation is the me generation? Not me. I'm so glad you came.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations. For Charter's Local Edition, I'm Brad Pomerantz.